Welcome to the New Ulm Forum. This program is brought to you by the New Ulm chapter of the League of Women Voters. We're a nonpartisan group who works dutifully to encourage informed and active participation in government and community. I'm your host today, and my name is Kara Carlson, and we have a very important topic, which is the upcoming elections, so we have a very important guest. I'd like to introduce you to Kelly Hotevek. I'm going to actually give it to you to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to talk about the upcoming primary and then election. All right, okay. Kelly, take it away.
Thank you. My name is Kelly Hotevek. I'm the Brown County Auditor Treasurer and the Election Administrator. As Kara said, the election's coming up. I joined the county in 2015 as the Assistant Auditor Treasurer. And in July of 2021, I was appointed the Auditor Treasurer. So this will be my fourth election cycle.
Nice.
Coming up. And the Auditor Treasurer Department's a very broad department. We handle many things, but election is a very important piece of that. We are located in the Brown County Courthouse on the second floor, and we're in room 206, and voters can use the front entrance, but we also encourage them to join or to use the law enforcement entry off Center and Washington.
Oh, okay.
You'll just have to go up the steps, or there's an elevator there, and then we're just around the corner on the second floor.
Sure, and it's easy parking on that side too,
it's
right?
It's very easy parking.
Okay, so. Excellent. And well, to start off, before we even get into the elections, there's been a few changes, and some of the biggest changes are about the redistricting. And you know, you watch national news, and there's always a lot of concern about gerrymandering and things like that. But it's a natural process that happens everywhere post-census data. So can you tell us about the district map changes that happened in our county?
Yeah, so just to back up just a little bit, the reason we had changes is because of redistricting, and that occurs after a census. Once the population changes, we want to make sure that we have equal representation among each districts. So the first district change that happened was the congressional district and the Minnesota and state Senate and House districts.
Okay.
And in Brown County, the congressional district actually ended up being split through Prairieville Township.
Which is north. Okay.
Yep, it's just west of Sleepy Eye, north and west of Sleepy Eye.
Okay, so wherever the line changes and there's like a big city population, you know, the word has to get out, because that's where the biggest changes are for those people to think about a little bit. So keep talking about that. For us around here, is there anything that we need to worry about in New Ulm when it comes to redistricting?
Yep, so New Ulm did redistrict their lines. So here's a map actually showing Brown County. And you can see here is the congressional district line. So the city of New Ulm remains in Congressional District 1.
Okay,
so this line is where Congressional District 7 occurred. And in Prairieville, there's actually a second precinct that got created because of the split in that township. It needs to follow township municipal lines and congressional lines. And so the city of New Ulm, after the congressional redistricting occurred, the next step is for municipalities to redistrict.
Okay.
The city of Sleepy Eye and Cobden, Springfield, they did not have Cobden, they did not have any changes, but the city of New Ulm did. And they just slightly changed their precinct ward boundaries.
And that has to do with population. Like if all of a sudden there's a new housing addition and the population increases, they want to keep the districts as close to population levels as possible, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And the city of New Ulm has their precinct map showing their new precinct boundaries.
Okay.
And our commissioner districts were also aligned in Brown County to meet those new precinct and ward boundaries.
Okay.
The other additional change in Brown County with the Commissioner District is that Milford Township went from Commissioner District 2 to Commissioner District 4.
Okay.
And Commissioner District 4 gave up Stark Township to Commissioner District 5. So due to the numbers, there was a large population change within Commissioner District 2, so we had to shift them around to redistribute that population.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's definitely heavy. The biggest changes are in the smaller towns, the outlying countryside, versus the city of New Ulm itself.
That is correct,
Okay.
because a lot of the rural population is moving to the city. So actually, the city of New Ulm had large changes, and that's why they had to shift their lines because of that.
Okay.
It was growing, and we do have Commissioner District 2 covers both city of New Ulm and rural townships. So-
Okay, so if you're a resident of Brown County or the city of New Ulm, and you're not sure, where's a resource that you can go to find out your district, where you poll or where you register, where you go to vote?
Yeah, so the poll finder, the Secretary of State has a poll finder online.
Okay.
And that's a great resource. It's pollfinder.sos.state.mn.us. And on there you can find when the next election for your residence is, the polling location. It will list your precinct and all of your districts. And there's a list of candidates and a sample ballot that you can get to. Another really good resource is mnvotes.org.
Oh, I love that one. I have gone to it many times. So MN Votes.
Yes.
All right.
So that's where you can register for voting. Early voting is going on. It started on June 24th, and it will go through August 5th. However, early registration ends July 19th. So we encourage everybody to get in and register. You can either register online or you can register at the Auditor Treasurer's office if you like to vote early.
Okay. Yes, let's dive deep into that in a little bit, but let's stay focused and talk some more about the ballot, because the ballot it's a little bit different than it normally is rolling this year, and we have a special election on August 9th, correct? Mm-hmm. And on that day,
so for example, on the front of the ballot, it is going to be the state primary ballot, and this is partisan. It's a partisan state primary, and so you will have to vote within one of the four major political parties. And so there's several offices that you'll find depending on the party, and you will vote for one for each of the offices that are on there. Then on the back side of the ballot, you are going to have your special election for U.S. Representative District 1. This is strictly to fill the vacancy in the term that expires January 3rd.
okay, because District 1 rep, or congressional rep, was Mr. Hagedorn, who passed away. Mm-hmm. And the timing of that death is very unusual in that this election is only going to elect somebody to replace him for a couple months. Am I correct on that?
That is correct.
Okay.
So it will be through January 3rd.
Can you announce who's on there? Just read them off real quick.
Yes, there is Haroon McClellan, Richard Riesdorf, Brad Finstead, and Jeff Ettinger.
Okay, so it is one side you vote for your party, and the other side you vote for this special.
Yes, so as you can see on here, so this is a New Ulm ballot. So they are going to also be voting for a U.S. representative for District 1 on the front. As I talked about, Prairieville, City of Springfield, anybody that line Prairieville and then Sleepy Eye south and to the west, they will be on the front of their ballot voting for U.S. Representative 7 because that's their new district.
Okay.
But on the backside, at the time of this current term, they're still a part of U.S. District 1. So this will be the new term, and on the backside, it's the remaining term.
All right.
So that's the little.
Everybody is going to have to stop and replay this multiple times, and thank goodness there's YouTube where you can do that. And it is complex, and I'm glad that we're doing this because getting the word out is just going to help people be very, very careful and pay attention when their time comes to vote to touch those ballots, because then the next ballot that is going to come in November will decide what then.
So on the November ballot, you'll be voting for the U.S. representative of your current district after redistricting.
For the whole
Yes.
term.
So-
The whole, was it?
Term.
A couple of years.
2 years.
Yes, 2
2-year
years.
term.
And so this August one is just going to be August 9th through November, the election in November. And then when we vote again in November, it is for the entire term for that congressional race.
It will go through January 3rd of 2023.
Oh, sure, okay, because of, the oath of office is always in January for the
Yes.
congressional, okay, got it.
That's when the existing term will end and
Yeah.
the new term will begin.
Okay, good catch. And the other things for the citizens of New Ulm, I believe there's a mayoral race,
There
correct?
it is. And so the reason, not all races are going to be on the state primary ballot. It's just the races that had more than 2 candidates.
Okay, so it's a primary.
The primary
Yes.
is to limit which candidates will be on the general election ballot.
Okay.
So in the city of New Ulm, we had 5 candidates for mayor. And so you will be narrowing down the candidates for the election in November.
But the mayoral race, is it a primary that is going to be based on your political party?
No, this is a
Okay.
nonpartisan.
Yes, so
Race.
some of this ballot, it is a partisan question, and other things it's not.
Yes, you'll see that the back of the ballot is the nonpartisan. The front will be your partisan ballot and the back will be your nonpartisan ballot, in addition to the special election.
Yeah,
But that is not partisan at this time because it's already been narrowed down to the candidate of each party.
sure. No, it's complex, and it's exciting because this stuff is so important. And, you know, the best election races are where there's lots of options, and it's nice to see a ballot coming our way that's full of candidates. But then that gives everyone voting that duty to try to do the research and find out what each candidate is all about. And that kind of information can be found on that poll finder too, correct?
Yes, that's
Yes.
why it's such a great resource, and we suggest going to the poll finder.
Excellent.
In order to do the poll finder, you will enter in your zip code, and then you hit go. And then on the next screen, you'll choose your address, and then it will bring you to your specific district information, your specific election information. So that's why we encourage you, and like we said, with all the candidates and knowing who's who, that's where you can also get the listing of candidates if you'd like. Those that have filled out a page or have a website, it links out to that so you can get.
So you can read up on them very
Candidate
easily.
information.
Okay, nice. I love it. It's complex, but it's exciting. So we kind of know all about the ballot. Now let's talk a little bit, Kelly, about how we get there and registering and absentee voting and voting by mail. Can you go through all that and give us an update?
Yeah, so you can either register or online to get an application for early voting. Minnesota is one of the states where you don't need a reason to early vote anymore. So you can absentee vote, or at our election office, the Auditor Treasurer office, you can come on in and you can get an absentee ballot. You can take it with you and mail it back, or you can fill it out in one of the voting booths that's available. We also have an assistive voting device that everybody is welcome to use. It's also available to those with hearing and visual disabilities.
Impairments. Okay, nice. And I like that idea. There's so many people that get worried about getting caught up into a line, especially if they're working full time and then you go to the polling places late and it's out the door. You can go into the courthouse. When does it start? Right now?
Yeah, so it began on June 24th.
Okay, so right now you can go to the Auditor Treasurers and do they have to show ID?
Not if you're a registered voter.
Okay, so if you have registered, you've already taken care of that, and you're on the registration lists. And but if you haven't voted for 4 years, then you have to show proof of address. Correct?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you need, or if you've moved, you'll need to re-register. And so in order to do that, yes, we have the applications there. You can register at that time. And then and then you can, like I mentioned, you can vote as well.
Right then and there.
Yep.
Now, let's just say you want to bring it home and vote by mail. How does that sequence go?
Yep, so the absentee ballot, like I mentioned, you can take it home with you, and then you would fill it out, put it in the secrecy envelope, and then there is an outside envelope, and you are going to make sure you have a witness. In 2020, we did not need a witness due to COVID. There is Minnesota statute that is requiring a witness signature again.
Big change there. So word has to get out about that. A witness is watching, and it's to my understanding, a lot of people mess up by not signing in the correct area.
Yes.
So talk to us about that. What do we have to be careful of when it comes to the signatures on that ballot?
Yep, you'll receive the instructions to go with either a ballot or a mail ballot, and make sure you follow those. The witness is going to be saying, that they saw you with your blank ballot, you voted, you put it in the secrecy envelope, and you sign. You can also use a notary, or you can come to our office and we can be your witness.
Sure.
Anyone in the Auditor Treasurer staff. But don't vote ahead of time, because one of the things that we're saying is that we saw that the ballot was unvoted before we did the witness signature. So that's one thing that sometimes we have to spoil that ballot, reissue it, have them revote.
Oh, because
so we can truly
the
witness it.
motion of watching them fill in the marks.
Nope, we don't watch them fill in the marks.
Okay.
We're making sure that they had a blank ballot and that they went and voted.
But you're not watching them do it, but
Nope.
the sequence of doing all that is what the witness attests
Yes,
to.
that they're starting
Okay.
with a blank ballot and that they're the one that actually voted
Okay.
that ballot.
Well, it's just another profound step towards keeping everything secure
Exactly.
and verifiable, which is on, the whole object of your office is to be able to, when things are in question, to be able to look at it and determine through a sequence, right, if it's a good ballot or not. The things that can kick a ballot out from counting are what?
So if we're missing a signature,
Okay,
that's one thing, or if you're signing on the wrong line.
okay,
Any absentee ballot that is rejected, more than 5 days before the election, we will send out a replacement ballot.
to the person and with a letter saying that your vote had been rejected, and then
With the reason why,
exactly.
and
okay.
then give them another opportunity.
Okay.
Within that 5 days, we will contact you and try and have you come in to revote.
Okay.
In addition, another thing that we sometimes see, or we strongly encourage you to put both your last 4 digits of your social security number and also your driver's license or ID identification, Minnesota identification numbers. So that's on there. That's what we're doing to verify that, the person that we sent the ballot to is who we truly
Okay,
are receiving that
so that's
ballot
another
from.
fallback safety element. There is the signature, there's the ID numbers, and then if that doesn't jive, then there's a comparison, and if there's still a question, then you contact the person if there's enough time. So there's a lot of steps in the beautiful state of Minnesota to make sure that everybody's vote counts. And so if you were a person who voted by mail, is there a place that you can go online to make sure to find out if your vote was received?
Yes, they do. The Secretary of State does have a ballot tracker.
Okay.
And so we encourage you to look to see if that's on there. Another thing is, if you are returning your ballot by mail, we want to make sure that you allow adequate time to have
for the
it
post office
delivered and returned to our office.
And what is that adequate time reasonable in New Ulm? Is it
I would say I strongly encourage by Thursday of the week prior to the election.
1 whole week to make sure, right, to give enough time. It obviously doesn't take that long, but the more time, the better.
Yes,
correct?
and our post office is great with
They are great.
making sure going through. That's why we have official election information on the envelope, so they can see that that's ballot information and make sure that they make that a priority in getting it back to the county.
Okay, awesome. Well, Kelly, it is so interesting to talk to you, and this is really important information. So everybody out there that's watching this forum, please spread the word about all these changes and all these details, because it's often a topic of conversation that's out there. So is there anything else that you can think of that we need to mention in this interview, or?
Sure.
Okay.
One other thing I want to say, mail ballot. So we do have several mail ballot precincts. And so any registered voter that is in a mail ballot precinct will have received, the mail ballot was sent out this past Wednesday.
Oh.
And so that should be coming in the mail if you haven't already received it.
And where is these precincts? Are they kind of far and wide, or?
Yep, so our mail ballot precincts are the city of Cobden, Evan,
Okay.
and Hanska,
Okay.
and the townships of Elbin, Cottonwood, Home, Lake Hanska, Linden, Mulligan, Prairieville, Siegel, Stark, and Stately.
Okay, I get it. So it's like the outlying country hamlets, and they have the ballots given to them via the mail.
Correct.
Okay, excellent news.
Yep.
Anything else that you can think of?
I guess one other important thing, we will have extended voting hours leading up to the primary. On August 6th, we will have extended hours from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's a Saturday.
Okay.
For voting, in-person absentee voting. You can also return your mail ballots, and
we're talking your office has these extended hours?
Yes.
Okay,
yep,
got it,
the Brown
got it.
County
So
Auditor
it
treasurers.
gives a nice chance for people that are working, get off at 5 to still be able to get in and get those into you.
Correct.
Okay.
And also August 7th is the day before will be open till 5 p.m.
Okay,
So we do have a couple of extended hours that people can. So Saturday, the 6th, will be open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
okay.
To vote in person or return your mail ballot at the Auditor Treasurer's office. And Monday, August 8th, will be open until 5 p.m. for extended voting. So like you said, there are opportunities that you can get back in.
Nice.
And if you're busy working.
Minnesota makes it easy,
Yep.
and as it should be. It should be easy to get that ballot filled out and brought in
Yep.
to count.
And then on Election Day, August 9th, We can accept absentee ballots. You can hand deliver them to our office until 3 p.m. Mail ballots have until 8 p.m. to deliver them. You can ask a family member or friend to deliver your ballot as well. They will be able to deliver up to 3 ballots. An individual can deliver up to 3 ballots if you're giving them permission to do so. We do track who they're returning it for, the name and address of the voter, their name and address, and they will have to show ID. So if you are
There you go.
delivering anybody's ballot, make sure you are bringing identification with you.
Excellent topic too, because what do they call that? Ballot harvesting. Not happening in Minnesota because Kelly is keeping an eye on things. I'm so glad that you remembered to do that, but have we nailed everything now? Do you think we have?
Yep.
Okay. Good luck to you.
And I
Kelly.
want to thank you for this opportunity because it's a great way to get information out.
Yeah, and spread and available to our community, and we do. We need to have everybody spread the word about all of this information because there's a lot going on there. So till next time, and thanks for watching the forum.
Thank you.